Hi everyone, how are you? Welcome to my channel. My name is Dawn. Thank you so much for being here. Please do hit subscribe and follow along on other social media outlets. Don't forget to give a thumbs up, and you're more than welcome to leave feedback publicly or privately. Thank you. You are also more than welcome to book an appointment or make an inquiry about a reading on any of the social media outlets on my website dawnstarot.com, or there is a book now button on Facebook. Right. This book now button, the book now, yeah, smidge, yeah, temperamental. I have, yeah, it's just a little bit temperamental. So if you are booking via that button, can you please mail me or get in touch with me on some platform? I would really appreciate it, because sometimes the messages don't come through, or they come through but then that time slot is already booked up. Temperamental, to say the least. I'm about this close to kind of deleting the whole thing and being like, yeah, let's just kick it old school. But anyway, because I know it's quite convenient for people when it works. So fingers crossed it will get its shit together soon, because yeah. Anyway, right. So for today's daily guidance, for today energetically, sorry. Okay, it's very still and very like a bit meh energetically. But there is an awful lot going on under the surface. So it's kind of like the duck on like a lake. There are a swan, they're just gliding elegantly, like there's not a care in the world, and they're doing nothing. But underneath the surface, they're like, swimming like 90 miles an hour. Their legs are going like really, really fast. So for some people, I think it's a case that you need to ask for some help, because it does feel like you're beginning to sink, and in that sense, like, become overwhelmed, and you're about this close to going batshit crazy any day now. So just reach out and ask for help. For other people, maybe you are just gliding and burying your head in the sand. But today kind of feels like one of those days where everything is just going to get a bit like, we need to kind of do things, okay? It feels like a very plotty, kind of a planny day. Maybe it's for looking forward into 2021 and what goals you'd like to have and this kind of thing as well. A little bit of organisation maybe going into 2021. Look, I'm not saying 2021 is going to be a whole pile different from this year, but I think it will be a bit more productive and a bit less restrictive and a little less scary. Okay, for some people it will be a little less scary. I'm not saying it's going to just all be wonderful and we're going to be like holding hands and stuff, but it is going to be a bit more of a productive year. So I think it's time now to start looking forward in what you want to do and where you want to be heading. Okay, yeah. Okay, right, so for today's daily guidance, I am using my Wisdom of Avalon deck. This is one card for the collective, it's one card for everyone. Please accept in love light which you can relate to, and please leave in love light which you can't for somebody else. Thank you. Okay, I have chose the card, I haven't looked at it, and we have Death. I love this card. It's out with the old, it's the kind of like the ending of one, beginning of another. And literally as I'm talking, like I'm literally after been talking about the kind of the ending of this year, and then the newness of next year, and the birth of next year, and where it is that you would like to see yourself and your family, friends, whatever, moving forward. For some people, it is the water again, and it's this kind of becoming a bit overwhelmed with everything. But I think that's this year's energy of like this kind of the overwhelmingness of this year. So you need to try and breathe through it and know that this is passing. It's just quite slow, but it is passing. And for some of you, there's been lessons learned in 2020 that are to help start the next cycle or the next phase. So you have to remember not to fall into, we'll say for next year, moving forward into the future, not to fall back into old habits and old patterns. So like there's been a lot of, we'll say, eye-openingness this year. For 2020, there was an awful lot of eye-openness, maybe seeing cracks or, divides where like everything was just buried in the sand before, whereas now it's kind of like out there in the open. So not going backwards into kind of like repeating that pattern or repeating that cycle needs to happen for moving forward. And that's just one example. There are so many examples, but it is that kind of whatever you learned in 2020, whatever it is, whether it be that kind of the work-life balance or being able to work from home and trying to keep that balance, that you're there for your family or you're there for whoever, your community. You know, it's this kind of the balance of it. And today is this kind of a balancey. It's that kind of ending of one and beginning of another. Now, this is 46, the number, okay? So that reverts back to number 1. Now, number 1 is strong, leader, knows where they're going, captain of their ship, kind of got their shit together. You know, we're going. The flip side of the 1 is that they kind of get blindsided, or not blindsided, tunnel vision and blindsided to the bigger picture. So you need to keep your balance. If this is like, you just need to keep your balance. I think that's really a lot of it today, is that balance of needing to, you know, not overdo it. And I think coming like this time of the year, everyone tends to overdo it in one way or another. Maybe you're overcompensating for the shitty year that you've had. You know, just remember that if you're borrowing money now, you're still gonna have to pay that. You know, so don't kick yourself in the foot moving forward. Okay, do what you can with what you have. And again, it's that repeated cycle and repeated pattern. Is this something that you do all the time? You need to kind of pull that in and do what you can do. And if you are borrowing money or, you know, using your credit card or whatever, just use it, but then stop. Don't overdo it. Okay, it doesn't matter what everyone else is doing or what everyone else is getting and this, that and the other and keeping up with the Joneses and the peer pressure of it all. You know what? It really doesn't matter at the end of the day. None of it really matters. Like for some people, I can actually hear like, yeah, but they're gonna like, and they'll say it. So what? You know, good for them, delighted for them. I wonder how much like they have to pay back. You know, it's not about all of that, all the fluff, all the shit that goes along with it. It's really about what's in your heart. Like, wouldn't you prefer to make something, to buy something, to create something, to craft it, to do it like this? There's so much more love in that. And I think a lot of people need to remember it's not about the money of it all. Okay? It's not about the money. It's about your family and your friends and being together and accepting each other for the faults and for the good times and the bad times. You know, that's just it. Okay? But today, stop repeating patterns and kind of be a bit more aware of your repeated patterns that perhaps you've done in the past so you can nip them in the bud now. Okay? But that is the card for today. Thank you all so much. I hope to see you again tomorrow. Have a great day, whatever corner of the world that you're in. Namaste, my friends. Bye.